What's going on, guys, and welcome back to your football predictions. I hope you're all enjoying the bank holiday and the sun that we've had recently, like I have. I said in the last video the plan was to just bring out our predictions for the final weekend of the season, but I got a lot of likes, I got a lot of comments, and I thought I'd throw in just that one extra for these midweek football games as well. So we're going to make it a bit of a quick one, and yeah, those are my predictions from the weekend up there. I thought Stoke might grab a win. They needed to win. They didn't. They lost 2-1. Watford, Newcastle, I went for a draw. Watford won 2-1. Not a great first half from Newcastle. I thought Burnley might do something against Arsenal, but obviously it was Arsene Wenger's last game at home for Arsenal and they won 5-0. And then Chelsea, Liverpool, I thought Liverpool might snatch it, and Chelsea snatched it 1-0, so I got no correct scores. The person who got the most correct scores was SS, so well done to him or her. I have dropped their YouTube link down in the description. Make sure you go and subscribe to them, because I have as well. And yeah, so we have games throughout the week, and then we have the final Sunday 3 o'clock games this Sunday. So we're going to do some of the midweek games, then we're going to come back on Thursday or Friday for the final football predictions. Alright, let's get into it. So my plan was originally for this to just kind of do the Wednesday games and the Thursday game, because I want to give you guys time to get your predictions in, but we can't miss out tomorrow's Tuesday night game. So again, you guys haven't got long to get your predictions in, and that is because it is Swansea versus Southampton tomorrow night. So Swansea are in 18th place, Southampton are in 17th place. They're both on 33 points. They both play each other tomorrow, and then Southampton have got Man City last game of the season, and Swansea have got Stoke their last game of the season. So basically, you're looking at this game to see who is going to get relegated. If it's a draw, it goes down to the final game of the season, and then I think West Brom still have an outsider chance to stay in the Premier League if they win their game and they both lose their final game. But we are looking at this game. That's it. If one of these teams wins, they are basically giving themselves security in the Premier League for next year. So, who's going to win? Swansea are at home. Obviously, they lost to Bournemouth, which was, you know, they want to be beating them at this point in the season. Then you've got Southampton, who were winning 1-0 up until drawing with Everton in the last second. That win would have been massive for them. So, I don't know. It's honestly anyone's game. It could easily be a draw. They could both get nervous and bottle it a little bit and end up seeing a draw, but Swansea are at home. They both need to win. I'm gonna back Southampton 2-1, because I'm just gonna have to pick a score. I honestly have no idea what's going to happen in this one, so let me know down below. Next up on the Wednesday, 7:45, I went for the Leicester versus Arsenal. Both teams at this point, Arsenal beat Burnley 5-0, as I said, so they've secured their 6th place. Leicester, again, who weren't that long ago going for Europa, have dropped down a fair bit. In their last 5 games, Leicester have drawn 1, lost 4. So they've not had a great end to the season. Even though Leicester are at home, it's Arsenal. After that massive win, they gave a great send-off to Arsene Wenger in his last home game of the season, so because of the forms, I'll probably go Arsenal 2-0. Next up again on the Wednesday, 8 o'clock, we've got Spurs taking on my team, Newcastle. Spurs are in 4th, Newcastle are in 10th. So, again, I've said it already, Newcastle have stayed up and I'm happy, but our form in the last few games hasn't been great. I'm still smiling because we did what we wanted to do this season, but we went from winning 4 games in a row to now losing 3 games in a row. And going to Spurs on a Wednesday night at Wembley, yeah, they need to win as well. I'd love it if we went there and won, because A, it would be great for Newcastle, but also B, it would make things up in those Champions League spots even more interesting for the last day, because if Spurs lost and Chelsea won, they would go 1 point ahead of them. That gap that they've allowed with Chelsea is down to some poor performances recently, so there's no saying we can't go there and do it, but like I said, after our recent performances, it's unlikely, so I'm probably going to go 2-1 Spurs. But normally when I say we're going to lose, we end up winning, so let's hope so. And to finish things off, I've mentioned it briefly there, it's Chelsea versus Huddersfield. Chelsea, as I said, are in 5th, Huddersfield are down in 16th. So, Chelsea, 2 points behind Spurs, 3 points behind Liverpool, and they've got 2 games to go. Spurs have got 2 games to go, and Liverpool have got 1 game at the end of the season. So if Chelsea win both their games, and either of those teams muck up, then Chelsea could be going to the Champions League. And it's looked like they weren't going to get a Champions League spot for ages. And because of the poor form of Liverpool, obviously Liverpool Champions League final have had bigger things to worry about recently. But Spurs' form hasn't been great. And Chelsea have fought back here because in their last 5 games, they have drawn 1 and they've won 4. So it shows they have been fighting for it. And depending on what happens in these few games, they could grab a Champions League spot. As I said, Huddersfield are in 16th. They got a 0-0 draw with Man City, which is a very, very precious point. They're currently 3 points ahead of the relegation zone. They aren't out of it yet, but they are in a decent position because of that draw and playing Chelsea away. They still obviously have a final game of the season as well. They've got 2 to go. So they can still keep out of it, but they aren't going to be happy just yet. And to mention, their last game of the season is against Arsenal as well, so they're going to want to try and grab some points, but they're also going to be hoping that the other teams around them kind of relegate themselves and they can just stay up. But anyway, who's going to win this game? As I said, Chelsea need to win it. They're at home. I'm going to back Chelsea. I'm going to go 3-1 Chelsea, but it should be a tough one because Huddersfield are really going to need to grab something. We saw them get a draw against Man City. They could easily do it again, but I'm going to back Chelsea. And that is it, guys, so make sure to comment your predictions down below. As I said, the first game kicking off is tomorrow night where we watch Southampton take on Swansea, and honestly, I think that's going to be a good one. So make sure you get your comments in down below. Drop a like if you are enjoying this series. If you're not enjoying it, don't worry. Premier League's about to end, but I do hope to do a few predictions for the World Cup and then next season as well. And like I said, I'll have my final football predictions at the end of this week for the final weekend of Premier League football. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Drop a like, get your predictions in as soon as possible because the first game is tomorrow night, so you've got just over a day and a half. Alright, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.